Greetings, friends. It's Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're here today on the Dead Tired Dads podcast. And we're excited that you're listening because it's going to be a great episode. I'm excited about this episode.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be good. What's going on, Ryan?
Well, now I'm excited.
Well, you should be. It's a good day, right?
I have a funny story, Josh.
Funny stories. We always have funny stories.
So, the other day, my wife takes our two boys to the dentist.
Gross.
And, dentist. Ugh. So, they're there, and my older son is, like, in a room by himself. My wife's in the room with our younger son, our 3-year-old. And the, I want to say nurse, but it's not nurse, like the hygienist comes into the room that had been working on our older son, and she pulls my wife aside, and she's like, I have to tell you a funny story that your son just did.
Gosh. It's always great when someone else comes up to you and is like, I need to tell you a story about your child.
I have to tell you something your child just did.
That's a good feeling, right?
So I guess the hygienist was asking him, like, do you brush your teeth every day? Do you floss every day? Et cetera, et cetera. And he said, yeah, I brush my teeth in the morning and at night. And she said, do you do it by yourself or does your parents help you? And he said, my mommy and daddy help me. And then when she asked him about flossing, he says, well, we only floss when the night before we're going to the dentist.
He does better than me.
He totally threw us right under the bus.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was amazing.
Well, the good news about that is that you know that you're raising an honest child. And that's one of the things about kids, right? Like, they're just, for them, I mean, unless they're in trouble, like, if they don't, like, they're just honest. Like, they, you know, like I said, if they're getting in trouble, they'll throw whoever under the bus. But like, when it comes to things that, like, they just don't know about, like,
just blunt honesty.
Yeah, he's doing. If you guys floss before going to the dentist, you're doing better than me.
The funny thing is, the hygienist told my wife, she was like, "You'd be amazed at how what kids tell me." And she was explaining that she had a kid one time who said, "What was it?" He said something to the effect of like, "I'm not allowed to floss" or something like that. She's like telling my wife all these things that kids say.
I'm not allowed to floss.
So
were the parents afraid that the kid was going to strangle himself with the floss? I mean, like, what's the danger? Like, I mean.
So apparently flossing, like 3 or 4 times a year, like we're in the middle of our parenting dental skills. So I just thought that was funny. Yeah, my parents only floss the night before we come to the dentist. So.
I guess I should probably start flossing.
Oh man!
So in regards to the dentist, I actually have like my first dentist appointment in like 3 years next week.
It happens.
Because we live in weird times, and I hadn't been to the dentist in a while before that, and just it was a whole complicated thing. But anyway, so yeah, that's fun. Yeah, fun dental.
So
hygienist
totally threw us under the bus.
Dude,
but at least he's honest.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten to the point yet where my children are telling, stories. I mean, my daughter's old enough that she probably could throw us under the bus. But does that happen often?
I don't know. It hasn't happened often to us.
Okay. But
it could to other parents. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So I would assume that it could.
Yeah.
Like, that's something
we have had a couple of times where we've taken because he's 7.5 now. We've had a couple of times where we've pulled him aside and like we've been like, hey, the stuff that mommy and daddy were just talking about, don't repeat that. Okay.
You can't tell people this.
Yeah. You can't repeat the things that mommy and daddy are saying.
Don't say that.
So yeah.
Yeah. So with your kids right now, are they my daughter started to like pick up on the fact that like video games are fun. Like have your kids like started like doing stuff by themselves yet, or
our oldest loves to play Minecraft by himself.
Okay.
Yeah, so like if he has a really good day with attitude or doing his schoolwork, that's one of his rewards that he can choose. Gotcha. Yeah.
So my daughter has been playing Yoshi's Crafted World on the Switch, and she absolutely loves it. But she's got friends at school. She's got these friends at school that talk about Minecraft and talk about the game Among Us all the time. Yeah. And so she'll draw like these little Among Us figures. I don't think they have access to it at school. Like, are you playing?
What's going on over there?
Are you playing this game in school? Like, what's so like? I don't know. Like, it's just this weird like.
Yeah.
It's very odd, and that she knows what they look like, and I guess her friends were drawing them, but she calls them Among Us.
Among Us. Like all one word?
Like it's one word. Like I'm drawing Among Us.
Among Us.
And we were like, what? Like at first we were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And like we saw what she was drawing and we were like, Among Us.
Yeah.
2 words, baby. 2 words, hun. She just was not wasn't getting it. So.
I have not played that game actually.
I haven't either, but it looks fun.
It does look fun.
It looks like fun. We should play that. We should do that one on Twitch or something.
We should. And we should co-op it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pull some other people in with that one. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Plans forming right here.
Right here, in before our very eyes. Oh man, I gotta say, I know I'm a week late on this, but like, daylight savings time, is the absolute worst. Like. Stab me in. I am still tired.
Yes.
I am still tired from daylight savings time. And here's the thing, like, it's not just me. Like, it's the fact that they've put this on my kids.
Yep.
Like, why?
They do not care about our children.
No. Like, it completely throws off their entire schedule, which totally makes parents even more tired. And
So here's a fun fact.
Boggles the mind.
Here's a fun fact. A bill just passed. Did you see this?
Yes. I saw that last week that they passed the Senate. Yeah. The Senate passed the bill to make it permanent. No more changing our clock. Right, but if you're gonna make something permanent, why not just keep time? Like, why are we changing time? Like, why are we so like? The sun, it'll be like noon, quote unquote noon, but it's really only 11. Yeah. I don't know. People who are still using sundials are going to be very upset.
So, would you prefer that we be back, like not? I don't even know how to phrase it.
Standard time.
We normal sprang forward. You want to go back to the hour and then make it permanent?
Yes.
See,
just stay at the time that the time is.
I know I'm in the minority on this, but I absolutely love it in the summer when it's like 9:30 at night and the sun is still out. See, I absolutely love it.
I don't know. I don't know that I don't know how I would feel about it if it was. I've never known it any other way. Yeah. So I don't know that I would feel like. I don't know that I would or wouldn't like it if it was dark at 9:30 in the summer. Like, I don't know.
I love it.
Anyway, I saw a thing that was like 79% of people support that move.
It's one of the only things that people agree on.
But right,
literally,
but it's not 100%. It's 79% agree on that. Like, it should be one way or the other. That we should stop changing time. And I'm like, who are the other 21% of people who are like? This is we should keep doing this. Like,
how many of that 21% are saying it just to be contrarians?
I don't know. But like, someone out there is either lying or stupid.
Exactly. Someone is like, I know that everyone else is answering this survey one way, so I'm going to answer it the other way.
Only 79%. Like, 21% of people are out there going, I love losing an hour of sleep once a year.
They're lying.
It's awesome.
I'm convinced.
It's the absolute worst. Anyway, that's my rant for the week. Is
all kinds of stuff on this podcast.
Daylight savings time is stupid, and so 2023, it's permanent. Hypothetically, it still has to pass the House. That's true. At least as of the recording of this podcast.
That's true. Our listeners didn't know that they would get information about a bill that's at the House right now.
Hey, if our government can get anything done. Like, this would be a great thing to accomplish.
79% of us would love it.
Yeah, absolutely. The other 21%
are lying.
They can change the time themselves. Like, they can do it themselves.
They can set their clocks however they want.
Just don't be late. Anyway, I guess we should get into our game reviews for the week. I'll go first this week.
All right, let's hear it,
I'll go ahead
Josh.
and go first because a couple weeks ago we talked about cereals.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I remember this.
Yeah, if I had known about this game that I was going to review next, I would have held off on bringing that subject up.
I hate when that happens.
Until this episode, but I did not know that this game was available. So in 1996, the cereal company, or the cereal Chex.
Yes, I remember that.
There was a cereal called Chex. It's still around, I'm fairly certain. I don't buy it, but anyway, they decided that rather than putting marshmallows in their cereal to entice children to buy it, they were going to put a video game inside their cereal to entice children to buy it. So it was a CD-ROM, which so I had to have this game.
Of
course. I saw the advertisement for it, and I was like, I have to have that.
Naturally.
And I'd never had Chex cereal before in my life, and I don't know that I've ever had it since.
Josh had it one time.
You know, I don't know that I finished the box. But I got the game Chex Quest.
Yes.
And Chex Quest was just it was basically a Doom ripoff.
Perfect.
Where it's a first person shooter and you've got your little laser gun and you're walking around and you've got to kill these little green alien things.
Yeah.
So I was scrolling through Facebook, and in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, a video game group that I'm in, someone was actually talking. Like, someone was like, "Hey, I found this game for like $5. Like, is that, you guys think it's worth it?" And someone else was like, "Well, you can get it for free on Steam." And I was like, "What?" And so I was like, I must play this. Like,
now Josh has to play it.
I have to play this game. So yeah, Chex Quest HD,
HD
or something like that. I don't know. It's not on Game Pass. So it's on
on Steam.
It's on Steam. I don't know that it's not on Game Pass, but I played it on Steam, not Game Pass. So this is the first episode in a while that doesn't, at least for me, doesn't feature Game Pass.
You actually went away from Game Pass.
I moved away from Game Pass for an episode. So Chex Quest, it's as far as I know, it's similar to the original game. I don't know I don't remember a ton about the original game because I never was able to get too far in it because I was terrible at games in 1996. But I played through it. It was a lot of fun. The controls are a little clunky, but overall, it's a fun game and it's free. So I would say that it gives you a story. It has some better animation. I know it has better animation, better graphics than the original. And some fun storyline, or a basic funny storyline where it's your hero. In the original you could only have one. You only had one character. In this one you get to pick which character you are. Yep. So I assume that there are probably different endings for each character. I played through it with just the primary character from the original. So not only did I play something not on Game Pass, but I beat a game.
Josh finished the game. It's 2 out of our last 3 weeks or something like that.
I'm starting a trend here. Josh is beating games. It won't last.
I was just getting ready to say, how does it feel? But yeah, Josh won't last. So.
Well, the thing is, it's not like it was this was a game that was packaged in a cereal box. So you're talking 4 hours of gameplay probably, tops.
Right.
But it's a fun game. So you've got different 5 different levels, I want to say, and each level has hidden things in it. So you can go back and replay the levels and try to find all the hidden areas, and find all the little things. And there's a lot of goofy stuff in there. So it's pretty family friendly. No one's dying, or it's not like actual Doom where there's aliens and blood and grossness. But time investment, like I said, it's relatively quick,
very short,
quick gameplay, quick game to get through. And so if you're looking for something that's that you can kind of just sit down, play through, and that it's just stupid fun, for the most part, I would say it's a good game. It's fun. Easy to go through.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this idea that this cereal company put this in a cereal box. I have a question that we may not be able to answer, but okay. I'm just curious. How much money did they spend making this game? And did they sell enough cereal that it was worth it? These are the things that I think about.
Yeah, sure. That's a legitimate question, and we're gonna go to our technical team,
super high tech,
and they are going to get right on that, and they will get us an answer.
Yes, they will.
They will, and it will not take long. I will say that apparently on eBay, like the original, packaging is going for like way outside of what you would expect for something like that. Like, talking like $250.
So this is a weird thing now. What you just said is happening. It just reminds me of a story. So back at Christmas with my in-laws, with my wife's parents, we always do this fun thing where we do like whatever you want to call it, white elephant or gift exchange. But it's always like I don't want to say silly, but it's like bring something from your house that you don't want anymore. Like bring something that you're trying to get rid of.
Yeah. Yeah, we've tried similar things with our family.
My father-in-law put in his very first cell phone. It was like this old cell phone that came with like a block charging station, and this thing was like the size of a small brick. My sister-in-law got it in the gift exchange and sold it on eBay, I think for like $80 or $90.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just couldn't believe it. So we were all like kind of like, we did this thing where we voted on like what was the best gift and what was the worst gift, and we all voted that was the worst gift. And clearly it was.
She went off and made $100 off of the worst gift.
Yeah.
How much did you make off of the gift that you got?
$0.
Exactly.
I got a marker holder, so it's in our homeschool room holding some dry erase markers. That's what I got.
So, let's see here. So this is according to the Wikipedia page that our super high tech research department pulled up for us and has handed to me. So corporate sales of Chex cereal saw a tremendous boost.
Tremendous boost.
With incremental volume over base increasing by 295%.
Whoa!
And volume share increasing 48% from the previous year. So General Mills made some pretty good money selling their cereal. I think that's
300% for Chex Quest.
Yeah. Like that, they attributed it to that almost exclusively. So
I kind of asked ironically, and now I'm a little bit impressed.
Yeah, no, like that's so like. Sure, marshmallows are the easy way to get kids to buy cereal.
Well, toss a video game in there.
Throw a video game in there, and I mean, heck,
I would go buy a cereal right now if it had a video game in it.
Oh, I absolutely.
Right this second.
Absolutely. Unless it was a CD-ROM.
That's true. They probably wouldn't do that anymore. They just give you the download key now.
Exactly. Here's a free download.
Wait, so how did that work? If it was on CD-ROM, how did you play it?
So it was on Steam. Like it's on. Like they have it on Steam now.
No, but when you got it back then in 1996. Oh yeah,
I had a computer.
Oh, it goes in your computer and you play on computer.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like
gotcha.
Yeah, there's just a CD-ROM that you put in and it installed on your computer, just like a normal, like any other normal video game would back then.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, just a different time, man. It was a different
300%.
300%.
All right, good for you, General Mills.
Yeah, Chex Quest, and so it's apparently like a it's got a huge like following now, like really like of like what cult following. That's the word I was looking for. Of people who just like. Think it's a great game. And it, like I said, it was a ton of fun to kind of go through. And I would love to see a side-by-side comparison. I'm sure there's one on YouTube that kind of shows the... But there were definitely some things that I remembered seeing from my time playing it. So, like I said, I don't know if it's like a carbon copy that they just updated.
Yeah.
But a little bit of replay value in there, like I said, because you got the different characters. And I'm sure there's different endings for each character, and you can go back and explore the different rooms and things like that, and the different levels to try to find all the secrets. And
Chex Quest.
And super family friendly, so your kids can play it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the controls are a bit clunky, but what do you expect from a cereal box video game?
That's true.
So yeah, that's Chex Quest.
Interesting.
If you've got a computer and Steam, which is free, you can download it for free.
There you go.
And get a few hours of fun gameplay out of it. So that's my review this week, Ryan.
There you go. Chex Quest for free.
For free. Unlike Chex Mix, which you have to pay for.
Yep.
And make yourself.
That is also true. Well, Josh.
Well, Ryan.
I played a game this week called Raji. Raji.
Are you sure it's Raji and not Raji?
I thought that, but they pronounced the character's name Raji, so I'm going with it.
In the game, they call him Raji.
Her.
Oh,
her Raji.
Oh,
yes.
The hero's a girl.
So this game is really interesting, actually. I will preface this by saying that in many ways, this is a original God of War ripoff.
Okay.
Like it's the same thing, only instead of Greek mythology, it's Indian mythology.
That makes sense.
So the whole premise is you are this girl named Raji. The game starts with you going to this cultural festival, and your little brother gets kidnapped by demons.
That got dark real quick.
Super quick, yeah. Like I'm sitting there watching
cultural festival,
and your little brother's like doing this puppet show for some kids at the cultural festival, and then it's like, boom, demons took him. Like that's how it starts.
Good gracious.
But it's actually not that scary.
Okay.
So my when that scene happened, my son was sitting next to me watching me play. And I was like, "Oh, hey, buddy, you may want to like go in the other room or not watch this. It might be scary." But it really wasn't, and he sat there and watched me, and he was not scared, and he's 7. So
there you go.
So it's a lot about Indian culture, mythology, gods and goddesses, demons, stuff like that, and it operates the exact same way as God of War does. First, you get like this like trident type weapon, and you can level that up. Then you get a bow and arrow, and you can level that up. You fight a lot of demons from the underworld, again, just like God of War. So,
which I'm super familiar with.
That's true. I can tell by the look on your face. No, so it's a hack and slash.
Okay.
Yeah, you just kind of run around hacking up enemies.
Sure.
There's no blood though. So, and the interesting thing is, the camera is very like zoomed out. In fact, my son kept saying, "Can you zoom in, Daddy? Can you zoom in? Because you're like way back here." And it's not quite directly above, but it's almost looking directly above.
Interesting.
So it's even though there's aspects that are like a ripoff of God of War, it is unique in some ways.
Sure.
It's a very short game. It's about 4 or 5 hours. It is very linear too. So like you can't
get lost.
You can't veer off and get lost. There is no side quests or anything like that. It's just you progress through in a linear fashion.
So a game that Josh could probably finish.
Josh could finish this game, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect game for a dead tired dad.
I just thought it was cool to see the culture of India in a video game, because I'm sure it's happened, but I don't remember that being the main focal point, the main setting of a game, at least that I've ever played.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask about like what the how they brought out the culture, and I'm sure with like God of War and stuff like that, as they're exploring the Greek mythology and whatever, that's all familiar, but so it's the same thing with Indian mythology, like you pull out the gods and goddesses from Indian mythology,
and some of them I even recognize the names of, because when I was in seminary, I took a world religions class.
Okay.
And I recognized some of the names of the gods and goddesses. So, so that was pretty cool if you're into that, which I've always kind of been into mythology and other world religions. So,
very cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Just the if you want to call it the landscape or the setting or whatever, I thought was unique.
Very much so. That sounds interesting.
I did play it on Game Pass.
Okay.
So
this is not an episode devoid of Game Pass.
We did not go entirely free of Game Pass this week. Another thing I noticed is you don't need to pay much attention to this game.
Okay.
Like, when it starts, pay attention because it kind of tells a little bit of a story. But then from there on, it's pretty much you are fighting your way through waves of enemies to get your brother back.
Gotcha.
And that's the end of it.
That's the game.
Yeah, that's the whole game. So, it is one that I think you could play, like I said, pretty quickly. You don't have to pay attention to. I enjoyed it. It was interesting to me, this dynamic of I'd see something and I'd go, man, that is just a clone of another game. And then there's other things where I'd say, I've never seen that before in a game.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoyed it.
That's interesting. Like, we've talked a little bit about in the past about how the, that balance between, like, how does a game be the same as something else, but feel different? And so, like, I think the big thing with something like that is changing up that cultural setting and putting yourself into a different thing that you're not familiar with, can, in some circumstances, do that for you. And sometimes that works, sometimes it does, Assassin's Creed will try to do that and it works and it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah.
So
I thought they did a good job overall, though.
That's awesome. Yeah. That sounds like a fun game.
It was fun. And like I said, it's very linear. Like, you can't go off path. You can't go the wrong way because you're either going back where you came from. And if you can't go that way, the door is locked. You can't go. So, it's, yeah. So, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what's it called again?
Raji.
That's what I was going to say, but I was like, I want to make sure that
Raji.
Raji.
Yeah.
Raji.
Roger.
Raji. Yeah. Cool. So, Chex Quest, which does not involve marshmallows, but was a serial video game, and Raji, which is on Game Pass. And so, yeah. Some good games that we both would recommend.
Yep.
Each,
and you can play them very quickly.
Yeah. So 2 games, you could get those. You could play through both of those in a week and be done with them. Like, I think I played Chex Quest. I beat the whole thing with the main character in like 2 days. Like, I just
That's about what I did too on mine. Yeah.
So yeah, you could easily do that.
Yeah.
After the kids are in bed, or even sounds like, just game. I mean, Chex Quest is definitely a game that you could play with kids around, or even, let your kids play. And Raji sounds like something similar. So, very cool. Anything else for the good of the whole, Ryan?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast. We've given you 2 awesome games that you should go check out, and we've talked a little bit about The Dentist and about Daylight Savings Time. So, if you needed a refresher for what happened at the beginning of the episode. This is what
long, didn't read.
This is what we call a recap. Thanks so much for listening. Do all the things. All the time. Follow, subscribe, share. Please share. That helps us out. That makes us feel special.
True.
If you share and tell your friends. And, we know you've got people who want to play video games and don't have time for it. We're trying to help them out.
Yeah.
Help us help them.
Tell them about it.
So, we'll catch you next time on the next episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast.
Bye.